Are you a 90s baby? Well, if you are, congratulations, we lived in significantly better times. But more importantly, you probably remember playing Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on the PS1. It was weird, janky, and full of cursed early 2000s 3D graphics, yet it had charm.
Go home to your mother, Potter. Oh, sorry, you don't have one, do you?
But did you know there was a PS2 version of the game? This version is better in almost every way. Better graphics, more open world gameplay, improved spellcasting, all thanks to the technological leap from the PS1 to the PS2, but for some reason, no one talked about it. And because of that, it's now one of the rarest and most expensive Harry Potter games out there. So first things first, why does this game even exist? You'd think that after the original Philosopher's Stone releases, developed by Argonaut Games for the PS1, No Wonder for PC and Mac, and Kryptonite Games for the Game Boy Advance, the publisher, EA, would simply just move on to the Chamber of Secrets, which was the next movie in line. And that's exactly what they did. Chamber of Secrets was released in late 2002 for PS2, Xbox, and GameCube, developed by Eurocom. But then, in 2003, EA released a remade version of Philosopher's Stone for those same consoles. And here's the kicker, it wasn't just a lazy port. Now let's get into the juicy part. Why is this game so rare and expensive today if it's a better version of Philosopher's Stone? Shouldn't it have sold just as well as the PS1 version? Well, not exactly. So, EA clearly thought the Harry Potter franchise is exploding in popularity with the books and movies smashing records worldwide. Millions of players have moved on from the PS1 to the PS2. Let's quickly and cheaply remake the Philosopher's Stone on current gen hardware, heavily reusing assets, mechanics, and level design from Chamber of Secrets. It's low cost, but potentially high profit. But here's the thing. They didn't market the Philosopher's Stone PS2 remake very well. Why? The answer lies in timing. With no movie released in 2003, EA shifted its focus to Quidditch World Cup during that gap year. Given this shift, EA clearly didn't want to overshadow the momentum of Quidditch World Cup with the remake of a game that had already been released for the PS1. Quidditch World Cup was released first in October 2003, and EA wanted to ensure the focus stayed on this new original experience, not on a remake. If they marketed the Philosopher's Stone PS2 remake too aggressively, it would risk diluting the excitement around the fresh content of Quidditch World Cup. Additionally, by the time the Philosopher's Stone PS2 came out in November 2003, Chamber of Secrets was already the most current and successful version of the Harry Potter game series. EA didn't want to undermine the momentum of the title with a game that was essentially a remake of the original, especially when they had a new movie and game on the horizon with Prisoner of Azkaban in 2004, which clearly was going to be the next priority. Given all of this, Philosopher's Stone ended up with a low print run, which resulted in fewer copies being available, and, as often happens with rare games, when collectors and fans caught wind of the game's scarcity, prices skyrocketed. That's why today, it's one of the most expensive Harry Potter games out there. And it's funny because it isn't just some expensive collector's item. The game is actually really fun. Sure, it has its issues, but it's fun. It takes the charm of the PS1 version that we all know and polishes it up with better visuals, larger environments, and refined mechanics. If you're a fan of the classic Harry Potter games, this is a hidden gem that's absolutely worth checking out if you can afford it, that is. Don't be stupid like me, just use an emulator. But for us physical media collectors, with the PS2 being the best-selling console of all time and the Harry Potter franchise being adored worldwide, today's market of collecting rarities from the king of consoles is, unfortunately, capitalizing on all of our nostalgia, curiosities, bank balances, and sanity, as I am now an adult with disposable income. Fuck a mortgage. So, have you had the opportunity to play the PS2 remake of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone? If so, what did you think?